This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Time to catch up with our mate, Ricky Lee.
Hi, friend.
Hey, Ricky.
Yeah, hey,
How are
Ricky.
you?
Ricky, we're doing a thing at the moment, a competition called Table for Four, where someone can win a $1,000 dining experience, right? And you were one of the celebrity voices sitting at the table yesterday.
What was I saying? Was I bitching and moaning about something? Or?
Yes, you do work at Nova, yes. That's what we all do as employees.
You were actually saying he's a really great guy, so we can't imagine who you might have been talking about.
He's a really great guy. Was I? Oh gosh.
I know.
Well,
we
you
don't
were-
know anyone that
you
it
were-
could possibly be.
You were sitting with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Chris Hemsworth, and
Serena Williams.
Yeah.
What a combination.
I mean, that's a table,
Isn't it?
That's
Right.
a real table. That would be so fun.
But think about it, though. It's not out of the realms of possibility, though, because Ricky Lee is, of course,
Yes.
Australia's sweetheart. So who's been the most impressive people you've had at a dinner table, Ricky?
Well, I mean, Sam Smith is a very good friend of mine and comes and stays here when they're in town.
Oh,
What
cool.
stays at your house?
We've got very drunk out on that deck and on that table.
What are they like? Because I feel like we'd love Sam.
Sam is a wonderful, wonderful human.
Yeah.
Full of charisma and is really funny.
Yeah.
And they're just one of my favorite people. And, since they were, I think it was before Stay With Me came out,
Yeah.
Sam started coming to Australia doing promo trips, and that's when we met. And ever since then, we've been friends, and every trip they come and stay at my house, and it's...
Are they a
it's
good
always-
house guest? Like, do they make their bed?
Oh, no, it's very messy. It sounds very messy. But we all, we have a very good time. And I always feel sorry for our neighbours. The first time they came to this house, the neighbours around the area, because we live in this like really hilly area where their sound just echoes.
Yes.
And Sam and I got into my costume cupboard downstairs with all my sequins and heels and wigs and, all my video clip and stage costumes. And we put them all on and we went out on the deck and we were playing music really loud and singing I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston. And one of the neighbours came down the driveway and knocked on the door and said, everyone is complaining about the horrific singing that's happening. I was like, if only you knew.
Ricky Lee and Sam Smith.
That is so
That's
funny.
amazing.
Okay, that is so funny.
People normally pay for this.
Oh, that is incredible.
Wow, and that's a next level, knowing someone having them
Bloody
stay at
oath.
your house.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
that
right.
is.
That's crazy, Ricky. But of course.
Ricky, I wanted to ask you too. We were speaking about off air. Nathan mentioned the fact that you're doing the afternoon stuff, which is the opposite to us, and we're always dying because up early. There must be a bad point to doing drive. Can you tell us what it might be?
Because we want to.
I mean, if you take Tim Blackwell out of it.
We just need something.
we need something to hold on to.
You need something. Well, okay, so doing the drive show isn't my only job, right? So
Sure.
I have like multiple jobs.
Yes.
I do TV and I release music and I work in studios during the day. So I think that the hardest thing about doing it for me, and this is like, it's not that bad, but because creative people and songwriters and producers generally work at night,
Yeah, right.
generally start
Yeah.
at like 4 o'clock and go till about 2 o'clock in the morning. So I now have to go to the studio at like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning and do like a regular day in the studio, like regular hours, which just no creative person is ever in the mood to write a song or produce a banger in the middle of the day because everyone's just waking up. So that's made it really hard, and it's made making the album take so much longer.
Yeah, right.
Because of the time that we have to get it done. And it's frustrating because I'm like, just do it. Just wake up and just do it.
Oh my God! Hurry up!
Get the ground running.
Yeah.
Let's get this freaking song finished because I don't want to talk about it anymore. I want the album to be done so I can have my days back to myself.
The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
And we're joined by our friend,
I know.
slightly injured at the moment, wearing a moon boot,
Yeah.
Shaun
Slightly,
Darcy.
just slightly.
We never warned him about the Nova curse before he
Yeah,
signed
I found
on.
it out about
really
that.
kicked
I
in,
didn't
hasn't
know.
it?
I wouldn't
Well, that's
sign
right.
it.
We wouldn't have.
sorry.
We don't tell you at the start.
Yeah.
So you
No.
wouldn't stick around.
Do you want to know something even more scary?
Yeah.
So there's a Nova curse which affects our AFL footballers
Yep.
that join the team, and then also there's the other thing that happens. And when we go on a break, celebrities just start dying left, right, and centre. And you're both AFL football and a celebrity, so. You've
Be
really risked
careful
your
when
life
we
joining
next
this
go on
team.
holidays.
I want to know when I saw you get injured, right? I went because I know how tough you are, and I went, oh my god, that looks like it hurts, because you don't really show that pain on your face ever. So was it really, really sore? Like, did that hurt a lot?
Yeah,
that injury.
So immediate pain.
Yeah, I done it, and because you don't know, I thought I just stepped on someone's
Yep.
foot, which is an outside rotation, which is they sort of warm up, like
Yep.
they hurt
Yeah.
a little bit,
Yes.
but you can get moving. And then I reckon I took a mark. I got kicked the ball, and I took a mark. I tried to like step, and I couldn't step. Like it just wasn't working. Like it just sort of like. Yeah, because I didn't have a ligament.
It's like, yeah, there's nothing. There wasn't anything
a ligament.
holding your ankle together.
So I've done the hand pass off, and I was like, no, surely I can get moving. Like it's just a
Yeah.
standard old ankle sprain.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
of course.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to run. I tried to run down the ground, and Moose is yelling, "Go good!" Like rubbing my head, and I was like, "No, I'm right."
I'm
And
right.
I was like, "No, I wasn't right.
I'm not right.
So I made my way to the bench. I was like, "I'll just sit down for a couple of minutes, like, and then I'm good to go." And yeah, the docs looked at me, and he's like, "Oh." They were just worried there might have been a fracture in the
Yeah.
outside of my ankle.
Yeah, because that's the real potential with
Yeah.
that sort of
Yeah.
injury is that you break a bone instead of the ligament.
Because my question is, and this goes to you, Shaun, as well. When you've injured yourself and you've got to get from where you've injured yourself off the oval, is that the most painful, longest
It's
walk?
so far
trying to
away.
act like you're not that hurt? Is that horrendous?
It's horrendous. It's shocking. And it gets longer and longer. Like, you're making distance, but because you're in so much pain, it seems like it's another 10.
So it's one of those movies where the hallway keeps on just getting further and further
And it's
away.
like, why can't I get there? Like,
Why can't I get
It's like, I mean, it must be a weird feeling for an elite athlete for their body to fail them like that.
yeah, it is.
So
It's not
funny.
a great feeling at all. So,
I think the other side of that is, whilst you're never trying to show pain, right, and you're trying to get off in those circumstances, there are the circumstances that something really hurts and you think you're dying or you've broken something,
And
you get
you're
to the
actually
bench
fine.
and
Yeah,
you're
warm up,
fine,
yeah.
and then you're really embarrassed.
Oh, really?
like a corky or
So
something.
by the time you get to the bench, it feels okay?
Yeah.
Wow, how embarrassing.
Well, it happens a lot. Like,
So they check you over and
you
go,
go for a mark, and
"There's
you're like,
nothing wrong
"Oh,
with you."
geez, I've done your hip or something." It's just a corky, and it warms up. You're like, "Oh,
One time I had to come off a game against Sydney Swans. I copped a really... I landed, my knee went... Anyway, it swelled up, and I had 2 knee reconstructions
Yes.
previously. The
So
doc
you
checked my
knew.
knee. They were like, "Oh God, we're not. This is not great." So I was on crutches, got off the plane that night. I was crying. Knees done again for the third time. Anyway, I had to go to Murdoch Hospital. Went in there and had an MRI, and I'm on crutches and all this kind of stuff. Went in there, had an MRI, walked out, and I said, "Could you tell? Have I done my
how bad is it?
my knee?" And the guy said, "No." And I was like,
So
"You
what they-
sure?"
what did
yeah,
they
no,
do?
I can see it here. And I said, "So what's the problem?" "I don't know. You must have knocked it really hard, so it's all swollen up."
Did they
Anyway,
put
the
a
crutches
Peppa
were gone. I'm
Pig
just walking out there.
Peppa Pig Band-Aid on you and send you on your way?
It was that embarrassing. And I think the cameras were there, right? So getting me in on crutches, dying, and then I walk out.
Like it's a miracle.
Trotting out.
What a loser. Hey, one of the other people who have been a great part of our team is Griffin Logue.
Yeah.
Of course, he nicked off and you came in and have taken his place here, but you guys are tied as well.
Yep.
He's did his knee not long ago,
yeah,
last
did his
week.
knee. I think
2 weeks.
Couple of weeks
2
ago,
weeks
yeah.
ago, and then he went into surgery Tuesday.
So he did an ACL. which is,
ACL, meniscus, and a couple of other things.
Oh,
like
that's-
that.
So the Nova
Triad.
curse follows you.
Yeah. You can never shake it for love.
That's alarming.
That is alarming.
Well, that's
To be
good to
fair.
know.
Appreciate it.
Luke Shuey does still seem to be suffering from it, and he was with us years ago.
Anyway, have a great time with us. Alicia, part of a premiership team here right
Yeah.
now. Hey,
Hey,
hey. All right. Can we get a miracle, please? We'll just
Yes.
get Shaun to sing us out.
Yeah. Go on, let's do it. Let's do
Shaun,
it.
Shaun.
He's never going to sing again. It's ruined for life.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
So I went on a very expensive holiday to Scandinavia, and I'm like, okay, I know I'd budgeted for that. That's fine. And when I got home, I had a $1,564.67 vet bill because my cat, who's only ever been to the vet once in her entire life before for an injury, decided to, apparently she got in a fight and she has a massive wound next to her butthole.
Or do you think
Seems
she
like
just
she's
had like a
running away.
really dirty few weeks when you were away? Like, you know what
Could
I
be
mean?
either
She
way.
spends most of her life like just lying on the couch,
sweetheart.
snoring lightly. I don't even know
Yeah.
how this could have happened.
I know, but you're not expecting bills like that when you return
you're
from a
not.
holiday. That's what we're talking about. Hey, Ben.
Hey guys, how you going?
Yeah, good, Ben.
Ben.
All right,
Ben.
what happened, Ben?
Well, so I went to Darwin on holiday about a year and a half ago. So just got to give a little plug. Darwin's a great place to go. It's in the bin.
Everybody
So-
visit Darwin.
I agree.
Darwin,
Yeah,
Ben.
Darwin's
Yeah,
a fun town.
Yeah.
And I was travelling with children, so that's strike one. Anyway, so we got a phone call. My mate was house sitting, and we're obviously on a rainwater tank. And the fitting on the rainwater tank went. It was that August, so I lost all the water. So that was step one.
Yeah.
Then the pump died, so that was step two. Had to organise a plumber from Darwin that I didn't even know to then repair the entire tank, refill it back up because obviously we wouldn't have no water.
Yeah.
So then I came back. That was while I was there. It was about $2,000. Then we got back, and then the fitting underneath the tank, which then pumped the house to the water, they decided to pack up and go home as well.
How much?
$3,500 all up.
Oh, Ben, you don't need that.
Ben.
Yeah, I know. So we're living on meagerang for a couple of weeks.
It's me garang, you garang, us garang.
Yeah, that's right.
We all garang.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, thanks, Ben. All right. Lauren's in the vines. Hello, Lauren.
Good morning, team. How are we going?
What bill did you come home to after your holiday?
So, unfortunately, mine's also Darwin related. Must be in the water up there.
Yeah.
So, my then boyfriend and I at the time went off to Mauritius for a cheeky 10-day holiday, just first, romantic vacation together.
Yeah.
Very young, the pair of us, about 20, 21. Came back to our share house when we landed to a $3,500 power bill.
Whoa.
How? What were they running?
Is your hydro setup working out
Well,
perfectly?
we'd all just moved out of home, hadn't had to pay any bills, and so none of us thought to turn off lights and aircons. And
Yeah. I mean, the
Things like
lights
that.
aren't going to get you, but the aircon certainly is.
How long was the aircon on for?
3 weeks.
we all had bedroom aircons running 24/7 for 6 months. And, it hit us. And insult to injury, when we landed, my partner's car had been hit by a tree.
Oh,
In the car park.
usually a car hits a tree, not a tree
Yeah,
hits
it's
a car.
Oh, in the car park at the airport. That's outrageous.
Yep. Just excellent. So, we moved
Lauren.
out the following week and was very, very broke for a while.
Yeah,
That's a stinker.
meagering for you as well.
Yeah.
So if a tree just falls on a car
And nobody sees
and nobody
it.
sees it, did it really happen? No, if a tree falls on a car, what happens insurance wise?
Well, you'd be covered by insurance if you're insured. Was he insured?
He wasn't. It was a huge, big highlight. It was a big bull bar. So, thankfully, he had minimal damage, just a few dents. The car next to him had been totaled.
Oh, wow.
Imagine
was-
coming
roof
back
was
to that.
squashed.
You can't.
Well, no, it's
Broken.
Sounds
I
like a
know. It was
setup.
like, oh, you poor humans.
Yeah, that's not good. Thank you, Lauren.
Let's
Thanks, Lauren.
finish off with Louise in Belia. Hey, Lou.
Hi, good morning.
Hi,
Hello,
lady.
Louise. What happened?
So it's actually not me, it was my parents. It was about 10 years ago. We were living in Victoria and we had a toddler, so they came over to stay with us for a month, spend some time with her from the UK. And just towards the end of their holiday, it was November, so it was winter time in the UK, and they had like a really cold snap and it was absolutely freezing. And my dad woke up one morning and checked his emails, and there was an email from a local real estate agent in the town where they live to say, you need to get someone out to your house. I was looking at a house next door, and there was water pouring out of your front door.
Oh.
So,
Good.
yeah, that's not good. So obviously he was really panicking, and with the time difference, he couldn't organise anyone to do anything because it was the middle of the night by the time he'd seen the email. So there was a few hours was pretty fraught where he was waiting, getting numbers of people together so that as soon as it was the right time, a decent time, he could call. And he called his nephew, my cousin, and he went round there, and there was water coming out of the front door. And as he opened the front door, it was literally like Titanic.
Yes.
The water just came flooding out, and of course freezing cold, and he could see there was like electricity sparks everywhere and everything, so he couldn't go in. So then they had to call emergency services and get the mains water shut off and get an electrician to turn off all the power.
Yes.
And basically there was like a big storage tank water storage tank in the loft, and it's connected to the mains water, and the pipes had burst because it was so frozen, and the entire top floor of their house fell down into the ground floor.
God!
Oh, that's hectic, Louise.
So what's the put the price tag on it? What was the bill?
It was just about £120,000.
And
Surely
also,
that's
and also, they
insurance,
lost money on real estate as well because it became a 2-level to a 1
Yes,
level.
that's true. That's a great point.
You're not expecting to come home and like, miss a whole story of your house.
No. Well, no, you're not missing it. It's just in the lounge room now.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
We're joined in the studio by our favourite Irishman.
Yes.
Tristan McManus from Studio 10.
Now, Tristan, I have a question about Studio 10. Now, I do see it most days when I go home and I pop the television on, so I know your work well.
Appreciate it.
I'm very impressed that you managed to stay on air while having those tattoos on your arm, because I did not think that they would gel well with the audience.
With the
because
Studio 10 audience,
Because he's
anyway.
a ruffian.
And
you know
they're,
what I
they're
mean?
an older audience.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
a ruffian. He's like very intimidating. My other question is, there are so many products for sale on Studio 10. Yesterday I saw some glue that sticks your wrinkles down. In the last 8 hours, have you ever bought any of the products that have been advertised on Studio 10?
Yes.
What have you bought? What have you bought?
I sleeve in that big shaky chair.
You're a liar. You're such a liar. Name one product that you bought. Go on, name one.
There's too many.
Exactly. You like them all. You love
Just
them all.
one.
The
Just
problem
one.
is I can't buy them because they're always so fast off the shelf because they're gone to all our viewers
Sure.
all the time.
So they sell
As
out.
we say it on the show every day, you have to get in quick. If you don't get in quick, you're not going to get
Do
it.
you know what? You can take your time. There's 10 warehouses full. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
How's that Listerine going? Good.
Tristan, Nathan's talking about your tattoos. You were telling us off air about not wearing socks
Yes.
and stuff like this. So
Yeah.
people loved, as we know in this world, everyone loves to complain. So you get a few people writing in or calling in.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're all creatures of habit, aren't we? And again, when it comes to any sort of show, when you're a new face, and people like familiarity.
Yes,
you know?
they don't like. They
And you
definitely
would
don't
be
like
not
change.
familiar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
Yeah,
you know,
different.
it's a bit tricky to get used to
Yeah.
this accent, and then once you do, you realise, oh, I probably don't want to listen to the words that you're saying in whatever accent you're doing. You know, so people just have to get used to different things, and just. Look, we all have people in our life who we hate, and we don't want to have to justify it. Everyone's the same, so there's obviously going to be people who watch my show.
Yes.
There's going to be people who say they don't listen to your show, but they do, and they do it to complain about whatever.
Yeah.
That's just
I know,
people,
but
isn't
to
it?
go to the effort of actually calling or writing to the station to complain about you specifically, that's a lot of effort.
Well, it means it's really
it is.
annoying. He's pushed these women to the nth degree.
Talk about the sock thing. Talk about the sock, because you think it's not a big issue whether you're wearing socks or not, but to certain members of
think
the
so.
audience.
Yeah, the day
it
that you
was.
broke Channel 10 was when you wore invisible socks.
It was from the very, very beginning. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if it was just kind of fashion forward or not.
Yes.
It wasn't like I went in and said, guess what, folks? I'm not going to wear socks today.
Yes.
You're going to get the emails.
And you were wearing socks. You were just wearing ones
just
you
wearing
couldn't
those
see.
little tiny ones,
Yes.
which I'd never
So
worn
you
before in my
exposed
life either.
bare ankles on the television.
Well, not bare. Like there was a lot of layers of hair on there, so it's almost like I was wearing pants.
Yes,
but
hairy
yeah, I don't know.
pants.
It's just like I said. I suppose people hadn't seen male ankles on the show before.
We posted a photo of us going out somewhere one night, and I was wearing a suit and I didn't wear socks. We must have been over in Sydney. I didn't wear socks, and there was comments on me not wearing socks. It's a real hot issue with some people out there, men showing their ankles. It's come full circle, hasn't it? It has to be about women.
Yeah, well, my legs are quite translucent, so maybe they just thought it was.
Mine
a ghost.
too.
Maybe they were just scared.
Yeah.
When you're scared, you
Because
write
it was
emails,
glowing
don't you?
so brightly.
Why are there
right?
two fluorescent tubes coming out of his pants?
Hey, Tristan, before we let you go, because we've got to go to the news shortly, I wanted to ask you about Pamela Anderson and Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, of course
going
you do.
back a little bit there, but because as soon as you start dancing with Pamela Anderson, you've been seen out in the wild with her, then everyone
Yeah.
thinks you hooked
Yeah.
up with her.
Yeah.
What was she like as a person?
A beautiful person. Yeah, I really liked her.
She wasn't crazy in any way?
Oh, everyone's crazy in their
Yeah,
own
Hollywood
way, aren't they?
crazy. Yeah.
But you never really know. Look, she was always great for me. You never know what to expect when you're meeting air quotes celebrities and who they're going to be and people that you've only seen in different places. But she was very endearing to me.
Are you still in touch?
No, we see. I started dancing with Pamela. It was the first time any of my mates had any interest in the fact that I was dancing.
I bet.
I'd also just got engaged to Tahina.
Oh,
You know,
how
so
was
it's kind of,
timing's
it was one of
everything,
these
isn't
just,
it?
it was like a perfect storm of everything, you know. But
And he didn't really dance with her because it's Pamela Anderson. He had to basically be 5 metres away from her at all times. There was something in the way.
And we didn't really dance together because we only lasted 1 week. We were bleeding horrendous. But it was good. Like I said, I've been very lucky. Everyone who I've met through Dancing with the Stars have played a great role in my life in some kind of way. It's a very lucky experience that I've been on, whether I've done well on it or not done well on it. Everything has kind of led to where we are right now.
Yeah.
And again, if it wasn't for Dancing with the Stars, I wouldn't have met my wife where I met her.
Yes.
In
And you wouldn't be here.
And I wouldn't be here talking
Right now.
to you.
Via
Yeah.
Meriden, weirdly.
With this passive aggression that's going on.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing. It's amazing.
Where
He's not wearing socks
He's not
anymore.
wearing socks.
I think it's safe to say you're our new favourite McManus. And Shaun. She said, thank you so much.
guys are
We can
awesome.
enjoy your
Thank you.
fine work on Studio 10 and various football broadcasts, which is amazing. Thanks, Tristan.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
We haven't got Jeremy McGovern in the studio. I'd
No.
love to have him here and see him in person.
No, he's under a pile of pillows, keeping himself protected right now.
Gov, is that true?
No, not exactly true.
Oh.
But I am from the weekend's game, unfortunately.
Yeah, so they took you off, okay, just after the first quarter when you copped the boot in the face. And I was thinking,
Yep.
no, you look good as gold. And you went down, obviously, did the test and came back onto the field. At that time and for the game, did you feel fine?
Yeah, no, I felt fine, passed all the tests and all the concussion protocols I guess on game day. But, then later they do another test.
Yeah.
The straight day after. And then, that was concussion symptoms, I guess, is what they call it.
So what was
and-
that?
and,
What did you notice?
I haven't noticed. I feel pretty good, to be honest.
So was it just like
I feel
reflexes
fine.
and cognition stuff that you?
Yeah, it's just like a full big testing and test you do, memory tests, how you're feeling, all that sort of stuff. And that was a little bit down. And obviously with the landscape of the AFL and concussion at the moment, they're not taking too many risks with it. So unfortunately for me, they ruled me out early on.
But can you have a bad day? Because I understand that you do all those cognitive tests. Like
Shaun would never pass this test.
So what are they doing? What are they doing in these cognitive? What are they doing in these tests?
Well, Gov can talk you through
Yeah.
it, but it's reflexes, memory tests. Gov, what else is in there?
Yeah, bit of balance stuff, memory, and it's just generally how you're feeling. All that. So, I think you're a bit right, Shawnee. I think it depends on how you're feeling on the day as well sometimes. But it's very hard. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to be out there playing, and I'm a little bit angry that I'm not. But at the same time, you got to respect the doctors and respect
that's it.
the protocols and what they're doing. So it is a little bit frustrating, but. Yeah, no, it is what it is.
So these tests, right, do they put into perspective or into the mix, say, if you are bad at balance? So, like,
so you do a
Do they
pre-test.
establish a baseline?
Yeah. And do you have a terrible memory anyway?
Do they do that, Gov?
Yeah, they do. So they give you a baseline. So that's the thing. All the boys sort of talk about trying to make bad baselines now.
So who out
barely
of the
stand
team?
up.
Who out of the team is just happy to be able to stand upright and say their name?
Yeah. It's actually concussions is not really a funny thing to laugh about, but it is. But some of the questions that they even ask you is just even doing the months of the year backwards.
Yeah.
Oh.
I even just struggle just doing that normally, let alone with a knock on the head.
So that's
November, October, September,
August, July, June.
Oh, you're really
Yeah.
How are you good at it?
He's been studying for this so he could play.
How are you
I'm having a
good at
moment.
it?
I'm having a moment. That's
Honestly,
right.
Shaun, give me your second name. You can't. You cannot.
Give us your PIN number. Not a chance in
Where
hell.
do you live? He doesn't have a clue.
I won't
How
let
you
him
can do
tonight.
that?
Gov, I feel for you, and I know you're talking about the frustration, and absolutely you've got to go with what the doctor and the physio's calls are. Yeah, absolutely. But I was thinking about myself, because you copped the boot in the face. If that was me, I'd be going, what are you taking me downstairs for?
Yeah.
I'm not coming off.
Yeah.
Boot in the chops, no way.
There's a very much a lot of that, and that was sort of a few of the firm words that were coming out of my mouth as well. But but it's just the landscape of the way the game's changed and what the AFL and everyone's trying to do to protect us now. And you got to respect it. As much as I don't really agree with it holistically, I respect it definitely. Yeah.
Where are you right now?
You got to respect it.
What are you doing right now?
I'm actually in Melbourne because it was the McGovern Cup this weekend. I was playing Carlton against Mitch, so we only had 50 of our family members flying in from all over the world to come watch us. I know. So it was the first time we would have been playing together, I think, since he was at Adelaide, probably 5 or 6 years ago. So,
Is there actually a McGovern Cup? Is there actually a McGovern?
No.
Are you sure? How good would that be?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
So, are you going to go around and like just bonk him on the head as well so that he can't play either, just to be fair?
Yeah. Well, I thought about going around to his for dinner the night before and poisoning his food. And, just enough so he can't play for this week. But unfortunately I won't be out there. But I'm just over with the family now and doing some training over here in Melbourne with the team.
Hey, Gov, I think you're a good chance to put on a really good performance. You, as a team against Richmond, I thought there were some really great signs. I thought there was. And also the fact that they are missing Chera, they're missing Paddy Cripps, and they're also missing Big Harry in the forward line. I mean, everyone needs a Big Harry in their team. I know that. Yeah, no, it definitely helps with those boys out for sure. But, for us, we showed some good signs, I think, against Richmond. Everything's sort of pointing in the right direction, but we haven't travelled too well this year. We sort of come home, we play a good game and show a bit, and then we sort of let ourselves down when we get on the road. So we got a big focus of trying to start well this week and do everything we can to try to get the win.
All right, mate. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and please buy us a present from Melbourne. We know how much money you get paid. Thank you.
Nathan, I'm going to get you one day. It's going to be glorious the day that I get you.
Are you going to throw a wad of money at his head?
What are you talking about? If you Google me and pay, it doesn't come up. You do.
Yeah, I know. I have to contact Google.
Dear Google.
Love your work, Gov. I hope
Thanks,
your head
guys.
comes good soon, okay?
Good on you, Gov.
Appreciate it, guys. See you.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun in podcast form.
The FIFA Women's World Cup 2023, Australia versus Republic of Ireland, and Bruce McAvaney, the legend himself,
is playing.
He got a Guernsey alongside Sam Kerr as the striker. Morning, Bruce.
Good morning. You guys must be so excited with Sam and being the local champ, eh?
I know.
Very excited.
She's related to Shaun, in fact, second cousin.
Yeah, we are, Bruce. Would you believe?
I didn't. Okay, so that's just another string to her bow. So what a sporting family, Shaun. I mean, God blimey. I mean, I didn't realise that Johnny Miller, who won the Melbourne Cup in 1966, is Sam's mother's uncle. So, God, Shaun, you've gone up in my estimation. Yeah. I've always had you high, mate, but boy, okay.
It does sound good on paper, doesn't it? All my family, we were just train drivers.
And some convicts.
It's funny, when I spoke to Sam the other day about her family, Shaun, she didn't mention you, but that's okay.
No, that happens a lot, actually. I'm not sure why I'm frozen out of that side of the mob.
It's
but
a big plan.
Yeah. Hey, Bruce, it must be amazing to see women's sport, pulled up to such a level, you know. And the fact is, it's not a side dish anymore; it's the main meal. Yeah. And we saw the recent video that was released by the Matildas about the struggle that they had to get the same conditions, playing conditions as the men, which was unbelievable. I didn't really know the history to that. But also they're addressing the pay factor where they're only on FIFA are only paying them a quarter of what the men are getting. What do you think about the scenario? Because I just think, for me personally, I think equal pay should be for everyone. I do understand that it's the amount of people that watch and all that sort of stuff. But at least they should be getting paid half at least. What do you think?
Well, agree. But they are, the good thing is that it's moving in the right direction. So at the last World Cup, which was in France in 2019, the prize money was about 40 million Australian dollars, and now it's 162.
Wow.
So it's gone from 40 million 4 years ago to 162. Now the men in Qatar last November, December got $440 million. So what it effectively means, it is, and so it's about a third, but I look at it a bit the other way. I'm looking back to what happened 4 years ago and thinking that in 4 years from now, they will be at that at least half level and probably closer. And we all believe in equality and equal pay. A bit of it is the dynamics of the economics, and that's understandable. But I think, and you touched on something then, Nathan, one of the things that's a bit precious about and special about this team is that those women that came before them, so our first international team was really in about 1979, and those women that played in that team and all those that have played since, most of them are still alive and still really active in the sport, and this team know them really well, and they engage with them and talk to them. And those women were playing in front of, 200 or 300 or 400 people, getting paid nothing, holding down a job, having children.
Oh. Yes.
So, the Sam Kerrs of this world realise that things are
standing
changing
on their
for the
shoulders, aren't
better.
they? Yeah.
I think that's a great thing.
And the amazing thing they kept on saying, a lot of the girls were saying, is they want to pass the shirt off to in a better state than what they got it.
That's right. They are.
Which is really great. Men's teams, they don't have to worry about the future of the sport because it's been taken care of them, whereas these women are the stewards, really, of
and bearing that responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to ask you too, just recently you were inducted into the AFL Hall of Fame, mate.
What took them so long?
Yeah, and that is amazing and a great feather in your cap. Congratulations.
Look, I really appreciate it. It is a feather in your cap, and you never expect these things. And you honestly, this is not being humble. You say to yourself, have I done enough, and have I done it well enough? And that's for others to judge. But I was, overwhelmed and felt really humble on the night, and you sit in that room with all those that have come before you. Dennis did a beautiful thing for me on the night. He voiced this opener for me, but I did text him. Of course, we're great friends, and that's one of the joys of being an AFL caller is our relationship. And his text back was, Bruce, we now live in a very exclusive street. How lucky we are. And it sort of summed it up so perfectly. So, it was a massive honour. I'll always feel a part of the game, and this sort of connects me with it forever. So, isn't it nice to think that you've contributed in a way that people have recognised you in such a way? So it was humbling. So thank you, guys.
It's great.
On the flip side of that, though, Bruce, does receiving an award like that suggest that they think you're going to die soon?
I've got to be honest, Nathan. I have said to my wife a couple of times, I feel like I've been to my own funeral in the last.
At least you got to enjoy it.
And sometimes I think people are a bit disappointed that I'm still around because
You're a living legend, Bruce. That's how we love you. A living legend.
I won't live on a planet where you're not alive.
Do you know what? Of those two, I love the living bit better than the legend bit, I can tell you.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
Time to catch up with somebody who escaped the clutches of Nova years ago. But he's done what we've been unable to do. Formerly of Merrick and Rosso, now he's just Merrick. Merrick Watts.
And he's now an expert in something that we find very strange. Wine.
Wine. Merrick, an idiot's guide to wine. You're bringing it to Perth.
Yes.
I mean, you're an idiot and you love wine. That makes sense.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's very exciting. I've actually been fortunate enough to have been to Perth several times recently, but I'm coming back to tour my show after trying to get there for months.
Where did the wine thing come from? I've got out with people that have wine connoisseurs at times, and I just think they're making it up half the time. So have you been through a course? Do people just make this shit up when they're just talking about wines in this sophisticated area?
Yeah, sometimes they do. But look, you'd actually be surprised at how many people have a bit of a think about wine and articulate, and they're actually pretty close to it. But I've got proper qualifications. I've got what they call a WSET Level 3, which is one below diploma in wine. It's an international wine standard, recognised everywhere in the world. I'm also a Barossa Master, and I'm a qualified wine judge as well. Wow. So I know, right? Yeah. I know.
That's impressive because Natalie's a Level 7 piss head.
Proudly. You get a medal. It's amazing.
And both of us have done a TAFE course. So well done to us. It's the extent of it. But yeah, look, it's the show itself, An Idiot's Guide to Wine, it's a comedy show, but it's about wine. But the kind of the different hook to it is the fact that I take people through a flight of 6 wines. So there's 6 different wines in the show, and they kind of have like little samples of each one as they go through. And I just tell jokes about the grapes and the history of the wines and stuff like that. So it's a very very funny show. I love it. It's my favourite show I've ever done in my career, and it's the longest running touring show I've ever done in my entire career. It just keeps going and going and going. It's been overseas. It's travelling again overseas at the end of this year and next year as well. So it's been a lot of fun. That's why it's sold out. I'll say that again. It's sold out.
Why wouldn't it be? I mean, you just explained the show to me, and my favourite part of it is the part where you just said you tell jokes about grapes.
Yeah, not bum grapes, just regular grapes. Like that.
I've always wanted to be a wine person, but I just don't have that sophistication in me. Red wine I cannot stand. I think it tastes. There is not one. My mate buys. I went around to his house one day. It was a Wednesday night, so it was not even a special night. And he bought a $350 bottle of red wine and then gave me some.
Jesus.
I know. And that was just for a normal night. So he gave me some, and I had one sip, and I said, pour it back into the bottle because that's like $60.
And it's wasted on you.
Yeah. But even
I know, 100%.
Even white wine.
But no, hang on. No, even a $6 wine is wasted on you. You don't even need to get the $360. Like, honestly, a can of beer, if he poured you a can of beer.
Hey, Merritt, you still look fit as a fiddle. Of course, we loved you on SAS Australia when you were on. You dominated. But have you just done a marathon? Did I see that?
Yeah, just punched out a tiny little marathon up at the Gold Coast a couple of weeks ago, 42.2 kilometres in 3 hours 43, so a little bit slower.
Actually running quick.
That's good.
Yeah, a bit slower than I'd hoped for, but it was pretty hard going towards the end with a bit of heat and a bit of wind. But what's funny? I was told that it was really difficult in the last 3 kilometres. I was like, yeah, whatever, we'll be right. I've done SAS Australia. I think I'll be okay with a little hit out jog like this. And I got to 39 kilometres, and I wanted somebody to take me into a paddock and shoot me, like a dog called Rufus that the family no longer wants or requires. But as this Sean. A young bloke, he's like 24 years of age. There's 2 kilometres to go, right? Like we can literally see down the straight to the finish line. And I've seen this young bloke, 24, fit as a fiddle, looks like Ned Brockman, and he's just collapsed in front of me. And and I just went into like classic kind of like that, that SAS kind of mode where I'm just like going, just got to get there, just got to get done. So I walked past, I'm going, get up, mate, you got more in you. And I just grabbed him and picked him up and I go, come on, we'll run this together the whole way, stop it. And he goes, right. And he just kind of switched because he was out, he was gone. All right, I went, now he's got a wingman. I'm going to be his wingman. He's half my age, but I'm going to drag this bloke over the finish line if I have to. We run the last 2 kilometres. We get there side by side. He turns to me, he goes, thanks so much, mate. I would never have got this if you hadn't picked me up. Thanks so much. And I went, awesome, mate. We've done it together. We get 50 metres from the finish line and he burns me off and runs away. And I said, what are you doing? And because I'm 49, I've just gone, see you, mate. And he just dragged me off and beat me. And I got across the finish line and I said, I saved your life. I believe in you. And he goes, yeah, I had to beat you, mate. I had to beat you.
I bet you are. People like that all over the place.
That's so funny.
Atrocious.
Yeah. So next time I run a marathon, I see somebody laying on the ground, I'm going to step on them.
Yeah, that's the only solution.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
Our friend Dave Callan. We haven't seen him for months and months and months, but he's back in the house.
I've missed yous.
We've missed you.
Unbelievable. The amount of shows that you went to while you're away. Like, Dave's one of those people that just does stuff and like a lot of it.
Yeah.
And we just found out from you that you have a bit of a thing against most musicals, which is
I don't like the second half of most musicals.
So you went to Phantom of the Opera?
Yeah, and I left in the intermission.
And you're in the front row, so they would have noticed.
There would have been a big hole. They would have gone,
where's that giant hairy guy go?
We're not good enough for the hairy hobo. What's wrong with us?
Oh, he must be Harry Potter live.
Yeah.
Hagrid's gone.
Oh, I did the Game of Thrones studio tour.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was it good?
In Northern Ireland. It was amazing. Yeah. It cost $48 million, pounds, euros, whatever. And then they don't even promote their own history and culture in Ireland.
Oh,
it's
really?
Like, we'll promote this pretend one instead.
Yeah, that's very funny.
All about Westeros.
Yeah.
So tell us about another show that you went.
This is one thing I did while I was there. I would Google up what's on in London tonight, and it came up one time that there was a viewing of David Bowie's last Ziggy Stardust concert, and it was 50 years to the day.
Wow.
50 years to the day that he apparently announced this on the night. He was on the last song. He goes, not only is this the last show of the tour, it's the last Ziggy ever. I'm going to go on and do something else now. And so we were in the same venue, the Hammersmith Odeon. And when the film starts, you can see the Hammersmith Odeon.
Yes.
And you've just come in through those doors, and then you can see all the furnishings around. At the beginning, David Bowie's talking to his wife of the time, who's Angie Bowie. She comes into the backstage before the concert, and as soon as that happened, these two people started talking. They were a row in front and then about 5 over, and they would not shut up, and everyone's shushing them. And then the concert film comes on proper, and they start filming it with their phones.
Filming the film.
Like, you can just wait for it on Blu-ray, you know?
Yes, yeah.
And so they're filming the film, and then all these ushers are running over, and they're flashing their torches, and they just go, oh, okay, and they put it away. And they'd have to do it 5 times. These women would keep on filming every time the ushers went away.
What's wrong with people?
The entitlement. So the whole thing ended. It was a great thing. There was a Q&A with the piano player, and the director was there. I don't even know why that's funny.
What an honour to be in the same building.
Yeah, but I went home and I was Googling all the people involved with it, and I Googled. I didn't know what I didn't know much about Angie Bowie, his first wife. So I Googled her, and it was the woman who wouldn't shut up.
Oh, Angie Bowie!
Oh, God.
Yeah, okay, so no wonder she was filming.
She's filming it, and she's in it. She's filming herself.
She was the one. She was filming herself, and she wouldn't shut up. She was probably telling her friend what was going on.
Didn't realise either.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the only time I would have accepted a "Don't you know who I am?"
Yeah.
It's the only time in history that would be appropriate.
Okay, that is so funny.
Amazing.
That is hilarious. Another thing you were telling us about as well is something that we've seen in the news so many times. I've never known anyone to experience it in person, and that is flying Ryanair. Nothing but horror stories. That's all you hear.
So, because they're renowned for their super cheap airfares, right?
Yeah, they're quite something. I mean, they're incredibly cheeky. Like, and I think it's kind of known now that they're going to rip you off.
Yeah.
For example, it comes up like €25 to go from Dublin to Lourdes in France. And
Fantastic.
That's a great deal.
And then you go to buy luggage, £40 for the bag, and then another £11 a kilo after that. And then here's the crazy one. If you don't print your own boarding pass, they will charge you £55 for the boarding pass.
So that's $100 for a boarding pass.
Yeah, I don't even want it. What's it printed on? The Shroud of Turin. I don't even want a boarding pass.
Don't you just get it on your phone?
Yeah, do they have that option? Does it go into your wallet?
Yeah, but you have to do it more than 2 hours before. And I was at the airport going, it's I got a bit of time, and then of course there's 1 million people at the airport all using the internet.
So they don't have any ground staff.
No, they've got about 7, I reckon, divided between the entire fleet.
So what about in the cabin? What about the
So they're amazing. Like I was using my Nintendo Switch because I'm 6'2" and I do what I want, and I'm basically playing on my Nintendo Switch. And this woman, one of the trolley dollies, sorry, that's rude. One of the air hostesses comes up to me.
Rude.
That's still rude. That's Stuart.
Flight attendant.
She comes up to me and she goes, "Can you put that away and listen for 10 minutes?" And I'm like, what is this? A flight or a Borstal? It was like, it was brutal. And you know the way someone always stands up before the plane lands?
Yes,
and
always,
They always get on and they say quite politely, "For the comfort and safety of all passengers around you and yourself, would you please take your seats while we're landing?" On Ryanair, she just grabs it and goes, "Sit down!"
But you were telling us they needed to make some extra money. How did they do that, Ryanair?
So they've already fleeced you a lot. And then at the end of the flight, I'm not kidding, just before the seatbelt light comes on, they go, "Oh, yeah, we're going to sell you scratchies." And one of the flight attendants walks down the aisle selling scratchies to people. It's like, well, we know we've ripped you off, but double or nothing.
How much were the scratchies?
I think they're about €5 or £5,
So
depending on which direction.
is the inference like, "Oh, you're lucky to have made it this far.
Yeah.
Let's ride that luck a little bit further"? Is that what that is?
Yeah, you should buy a lotto ticket if you survive this debacle.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.